Good evening, everybody. I'm ready to call everybody to order, please. He's got me up to that. All right, I'd like to open up and welcome everybody. Thank you for coming to 2022 Town Forum. I'm glad to see you for this one. You know, we have and water and everything. And if you don't, open up with a prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, God, that we can accomplish what needs to be done for our concluded. I pray all of this in the mighty name of Jesus.
Everyone. My name is Tammy McCory, and I will be the moderator for this event this evening. We're going to start off with everyone here that's on the list. Running for County Judge Executive, Mason Barnes, Brent DeWeese. Yes. Running for County Clerk, Austin Johnson and Dewana Eaton.
Yes, both of them.
Running unopposed for Magistrate, Myron Thurman.
Yes.
Running unopposed for South Magistrate, Jerry Fleming.
You mean Jimmy?
Jimmy Fleming, I'm sorry. Jimmy Fleming.
No, he's not. Okay.
Constable, South Magistrate. Okay. Magistrate for West District, Jeffrey Byrd, Nathaniel Downey.
Both here.
Constable, West Magistrate, Darrell Carver, Chuck Fleming.
That's Chuck, right?
Darrell Carver. Running for Circuit Court Judge, Medford and Ashley Douglas.
Both here.
Okay.
Now, circuit court, that's a separate thing.
Yeah, where is it?
No, never mind.
All right. Right, I didn't think so.
Not on the ballot, it's so separate.
Mayor candidates, Kelly Bush, Larry Dixon.
They're both here.
City Commissioner, City of Franklin, Jamie Powell. Dale McCrary. Brownie Bennett. Buddy Slager. Wendell Stewart. Herbert Williams.
Oh, okay. Okay, just right, yes, got Poston, North District Magistrate, and someone else? Just you, okay.
Jerry Hobson.
And then Jerry D. Hobson is also here, and Sam Phillips. And they're running unopposed.
They're running unopposed. Okay.
Sam Phillips,
I found Sam.
you're a county attorney. I was gonna say, you're one of our attorneys, and Jerry D. is our sheriff.
Okay. We will start off with each candidate has 2 minutes in this opening round. And in that first 2 minutes, you're going to introduce yourself. Tell us, why do you want to serve? Why do you feel you're qualified to serve? And what temperature should a candidate have? So we will start over here.
Before we start, I'm the timekeeper.
Yes.
And I will tell you, you each have 2 minutes, and I will let you know when it's down to 30 seconds. So I'll say something like 30 seconds, and you can nod or you can just ignore me, but I hope you can hear me, can't you? Okay, so just, you can ignore me. You don't have to recognize that I've said anything, but I'll let you know when you're down to 30 seconds. And I'll say time, and your time's up. So we appreciate your doing this. Nobody walked in that's a candidate, did they?
Yes.
Just now?
The gentleman right beside you.
Your name is, sir?
Daryl
Darrell
Carter.
Carter. Okay, we was just asked about him.
What are you running for? West,
Constable,
what's that, Constable? Okay, we got lots of people running in the west.
yes,
West Magistrate,
right here.
there we go.
Okay. So you've heard the rules, and we will start, I guess we'll start with Herbert. And we'll do the city commission.
I'm running to be reelected for city commissioner. And what was the question?
Why do you want to serve, and why do you feel you're qualified to serve, and what temperament should a candidate have?
Well, I decided to run to be reelected for the city commissioner because I feel like I'm qualified to be a city commissioner because I've served 8 or 9 terms as city commissioner. And I feel the only reason why I'm running is because Franklin is my home. I love Franklin, and I've spent a lot of time just being a mouthpiece, more or less, for the people that vote for the candidates. That's my purpose and for running, and I feel like that I'm qualified because I've spent a quarter of my life being in city government. And what else was it you asked?
What temperament should a candidate have?
Oh, okay. I think the temperament should be a God-fearing man that treats people like he want to be
30
treated,
seconds.
and also be concerned with the growth of the city of Franklin and Simpson County. Those things that you have to have that type of temperament because, you know, we all have to answer to somebody. And that's what I try to do. That's what I've done in the past, and I hope to continue.
Yeah, time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Herbert Williams. Next up, we'll have Brownie Bennett.
Hello, my name is Brownie Bennett, and I am in my 2nd term as city commissioner. And the reason that I wanted to run for city commissioner, most of you know me, I've been involved in this community for over 40 years. Lots of civic organizations, boards, panels, clubs, and I just felt that that was my next step. So I ran for city commission 4 years ago and got elected and have developed the experience, the qualifications that I need, and I hope to be reelected. We've done a lot of good things these last 4 years. There's many of them that I would like to see to fruition. For instance, we want to see the police station finished. We want to fund our police. We don't want to defund our police. We have some sidewalks that are going to be taken care of and built for our students to be safer. We've got some green space that we want to work on that's going to be available for the park. We've just got a lot of things that we want to do and to accomplish and finish, and I want to be a part of it. As far as why I'm qualified, well, I feel like 4 years of working with city commissioners and working with the mayor and the city managers, that has given me the qualifications and experience that I need to continue the job that we're doing. As far as the temperament that you need, I feel everyone needs to be
30 seconds.
telling the facts, the truth, sharing the information needed, but also be willing to answer the tough questions. I don't mind answering the tough questions. I don't mind telling people what we are doing because I feel like we're doing the right thing. And I would like to ask for your vote for re-election for City Commissioner. Thank you.
Next up, we'll have Wendell Stewart.
For those that don't know me, my name is Wendell Stewart. I am finishing my 10th term as City Commissioner. My wife, Kelly, and I have 4 children, 2 grandchildren, and 1 on the way. I've been in Franklin all of my life. I'm a business owner here, 37 years. Franklin is home and always been home, and I love it here. And I always want to make sure that being a part of this community, that I am able to not be a part of a problem, but a part of a solution. That's why I want to be involved with city government. What makes me a qualified candidate just depends on who you ask. But for me, what makes me qualified is something that runs into the question of the temperament. Temperament, I would like to use the term balance. Number one, you have to be a good listener. And I've had to learn to do that over the years. A lot of things I've had to learn to do because as elected official, these things just don't happen overnight. It happens in time. Second thing that I would like to say as far as a part of the connection of why I would be a good candidate is never take things personal. Sometimes you do, but try to never take things personal because anybody that has something to say to an elected official has a right. As a taxpayer, you have a right to feel how you feel and say some of the things you do. Hopefully, whatever that is, it'll be respectful. And lastly, I always want to look at everyone as I look at myself. What do I want for myself? What I want for myself is what I would like to think I'd want for everybody else. And that is an opportunity to live in a safe community, the one that cares about it and makes sure that it's maintained in the proper way that is fitting.
Thank you, Wendell. Next up, we'll have Dale McCrary.
Good evening. Thanks, everybody, for coming out. I like to see the support for this kind of support for any event. I think it's a little better than last time. All right. My name's Dale McCrary. Been in Franklin all my life, raised here, raised my family here. My lovely wife, Lisa McCrary, is here, and I don't see my son, Brandon. He was supposed to be here. But anyway, lifelong resident of Simpson County. Been a public servant for over 21 years as a paramedic for the community and currently in Franklin Simpson EMS Taxing District. Excuse me. Why do I want to serve? I want to continue to serve Franklin and Simpson County. I love this city. I've had many opportunities to move away, relocate for higher paying positions, and I chose not to. I chose to stay in Franklin and raise my family here. Why am I qualified to serve? I feel like I'm qualified to serve on the commission due to my current and past management experience. My position is the EMS director for the taxing district. I was appointed in 2014 to be the director, and I faced an unbalanced budget. We were $40,000 in the red. We had used up equipment, and we faced many challenges. During my 8 years of tenure as director, we made substantial improvement. We had a balanced budget every year under my stewardship, and we also have cash reserves. I'm currently responsible for a $1.8 million budget, and again, we keep it running in the black. I feel like I've exhibited excellent stewardship and critical thinking skills to assist in solving issues. I feel I could pass that on to the city. And I think I've proved myself with diligence and longevity and honesty. And I think I've demonstrated the ability to serve. And the temperament, I agree with Mr. Stewart. I think you have to have great listening skills, and you should have a mild temperament. And I think I've shown that by working with the boards and officials for the last 10 years and without any conflict. I appreciate all y'all. Humbly ask for your vote come November the 8th. Thank you.
Jamie Powell.
My name is Jamie Powell. I'm the retired chief of police. I'm seeking my 8th term on the city commission. I've been in public service with the city for 46 years. I'm experienced, I'm dedicated, I have the ability to do the job. I will treat each one of y'all honestly, fairly, with love, compassion, respect, and equal treatment. I love Franklin. I love the citizens. And if you know me, you know that is always, I'm the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And I humbly ask for your vote and support on November the 8th. I'm number 1 on the ballot. Thank you.
And our last candidate for city commissioner, Buddy Sliger.
Good evening. I'm Buddy Sliger Jr. A lot of people call me Pee Wee, thanks to my mom. But I'm 52 years old. I was born and raised in Franklin. I'm married to my wonderful wife, Kim. We got 2 children, Caleb and Emily, and 2 grandbabies, Jackson and Sophia. And I want to serve my community and serve the people of our town because I lived here my entire life, and I just want to give back to my community. I will try to make Franklin financially strong through jobs, improving streets and infrastructure. I want to help by bringing balance to our community. And why I think I'm qualified is I've worked hand in hand with my dad in an excavating business for 27 years, where I've had the pleasure to work for the city public works department in sewer, stormwater, streets, and I've got a real good relationship with the city. I have good people skills. I try to be positive. I try to have good relations with all the ones that I work with. I feel like a candidate's temperament needs to be consistent and
30
professional.
seconds.
And open-minded to all situations, and I think they need to be slow to anger. And I just ask for your vote on November the 11th. I thank you.
And now we will move on to the constables for the West Magistrate District. So we'll start with Chuck Fleming.
Hello, my name is Chuck Fleming. I've been living Middleton community all my life. I've served as West District Constable for the last 8 years. My wife, Michelle, I got 2 children, 1 grandchild. The reason I wanted to run is because I enjoy helping the Sheriff's Department, City Police Department. Been out on numerous accidents, at times when we may only have 1 sheriff's deputy on duty, been able to get to a call before they're able to get to a call to help them, and enjoy helping them, as well as maybe a record service that comes out, and I've helped them out. Also, what was the other part of the question?
Why do you want to serve? Why do you feel you're qualified to serve? And what temperament should a candidate have?
As far as qualifications, I've been through some firearm training through the Sheriff's Department. Other than that, don't know that there's a lot of training you can get for a constable, but the day after, I guess I was elected, or when I started my term, called Jerry D, said, hey, what do you expect from me? What do you want from me? Just to be a good witness, pay attention to what's going on a scene if you get there before they do. Be able to give them information to help them. Maybe get to a call to dispatch fire or EMS to get them to the right location without them having to look around. As far as temperament, you got to be open. You got to listen to everything that's going on.
30 seconds.
Be friendly to everybody, because you don't know exactly what's going on until you get to the bottom of it. but I'd appreciate your all's vote to be reelected as constable in the West District. Thank you.
And now we'll have Darryl Carver.
Look out, I'm a little nervous. I ain't never done this before. My name is Darryl Carver, and I'm running for West Side Constable, and I will try my best to treat the police and the people I believe in, and I lived here all my life, and I want to treat them with respect and help them all my life, and I will I worked all my life, and I will work off all for them the rest of my life. If they reelected me in November, and I will treat them right and treat them what they want. And like I said on the campaign, it's time for a change, and it's time for a change now. And I will help them all I can, and I will appreciate it, all the votes I can in November and on election. And I'm running for the Republican, and I'm proud of it. And when I get into election, if I win that election, and everybody will believe in me and running for them, I will treat them as they respect and what they were meant for. And I will work for them as I will work for my kids and my family and my wife, Debbie Carver, and I got 4 kids in my life, and I will protect them like I will them, and treat the law the best I can be. And that's all I know it can be. And that's what all I ask for is, I'm tired and seeing all these reflections.
30 seconds.
And I will treat them as they treat me, and I want to work so hard as I work for every day of my life, and I will work for them like I work at my full-time job. And that's all I can say. I thank you very much.
Next, we're going to move on to the magistrate for the West Magistrate District. And first up will be Jeffrey Burr.
Who was that guy?
Carver.
Was he on the phone?
No, he's running for constable.
Hi, I'm Jeffrey Burr, and I'm running for the West District Magistrate. I'd like to thank the Human Rights Commission for hosting this forum. I'm a lifetime resident of Simpson County. My parents is Kathy Burr and the late Wayne Burr. My wife is Leslie Burr. I have a 3-year-old son, Aaron. I lived in Price's Mill all my life. My occupation is a farmer, and I'm ready to serve Simpson County in the West District. The reason I want to serve Simpson County in the West District is after talking to people in the West District, they're wanting an improvement in the leadership, and I think I'm the improvement that they need. The reason why I think I'm qualified to serve is because I'm good at budgets. I've been keeping up with what the fiscal courts have been doing the last 4 years. Also, if elected, my phone will always be on. Phone calls will be returned as soon as possible in a timely manner from constituents of the West District in Simpson County. A temperament for the candidate should be calm, cool, understanding, always keeping a level head when issues arise so he can always come to the best solution for Simpson County in the West District. I appreciate your vote, November the 8th. Thank you.
Next up for magistrate at West Magistrate District, Nathaniel Downey.
First, give honor to God, who's the head of my life. My name is Nathaniel Downey, and I'm currently the magistrate for the West District. My wife, Stephanie Downey, and I have 5 kids and 3 grandkids. Born and raised here in Franklin, Kentucky. Graduated here at Franklin Simpson. Graduated at Maryland State University in 1988. The reason why I want to serve is I have a passion to serve, because ever since I was a kid, grew up in church, I was on the usher board. After that, I joined the military, the U.S. Navy. For 20 years, I served for my country. And after I retired, I moved back home. I wanted to serve some more. So I said, well, let's run for magistrate. So that's the current position that I'm holding right now. And the reason why I think I'm qualified for it, because I got an ear to listen. And then when someone voiced their concerns, their issues, I'm their voice for them. I bring it back to fiscal court or any department that they have the issue with, and then let them know what it is and have them to solve the issue. And also to be qualified, I've been to many trainings and with conferences to be able to further do my job. I got a lot of knowledge and a lot of resources that will also help me to make the job a lot easier. And as far as with temperament, I think you got to have a strong will. You got to have a strong passion. You got to be just compassionate. And then most of all, you got to have a keen intellect. So on November the 8th, for all the ones that's in the West District, if you please come out and vote. If you vote for me, 2 thumbs up, but just come out and vote. That's the main thing at these days. Thank you very much.
We're going to now move on to Circuit Judge, Family Court.
I think you skipped Jimmy Fleming.
No, I did Chuck.
Chuck Fleming, I think you skipped him. Have you called him?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, move on.
So we're going to now do Family Court. First up, we're going to have Ashley Douglas.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Ashley Douglas. Just a little background information about me. I'm the youngest child and only daughter of Anthony and Vicki Baird. I was born and raised right here in Franklin, a 2001 graduate of Franklin Simpson High School. My dad built steel buildings, and my mom stayed home with us kids. I'm married to Matthew Douglas, who is not here tonight. He's away on business. We have 2 beautiful little girls, Lizzie, who is 9, and Ellie, who is 4. And then I have 2 stepsons, Mason, who's 16, and Jackson, who's 14. I want to serve Simpson and Allen counties as family court judge because I've just always had a heart for family court cases. I've always found it rewarding to do those kind of cases when people come into you and they're having absolutely the worst day of their life. They're going through a divorce, they're fighting a custody battle for their children, they've lost their child. I feel like taking this next step of running for family court judge will allow me to take that to another level to help more families to go through that and to navigate that really difficult court system and to get through that. I feel like I'm qualified to serve. I've been back home here in Franklin for the last 13 years
30 seconds.
with my office open here. I focused primarily on family court cases during that time. I'm going to skip on over to the temperament portion. I think a temperament for a judicial candidate is a little bit different. We do have to make sure that we're really unbiased in the things we say and stay very neutral. But I think otherwise, it's important for us still to listen to the things that individuals say, make sure we're incredibly respectful to the individuals we're out talking to, and I think that transitions as well once we're on the bench. Thank you all.
We're now going to move on to the county clerk. First up,
Oh, yeah, you left out Tim Mefford.
I'm sorry, where is he at?
Thank you for letting us know, because we're having a little confusion up here. Tim Mefford, he knows who he is, just
Okay.
call his name.
Tim Redford. It's not on there. What am I supposed to do?
Thank you. My name's Tim Medford. I'd like to serve this position because I was fortunate enough to be brought to this community by Bill Harris and Sid Broderson in 1986. They gave me a job as a young lawyer and started me off on the right foot. They taught me how to do things right, how to treat people, that sort of thing. I'm 62 years old. I feel like this is an opportunity for me to give back, especially to the legal community that has done so well for me. And so that's why I would like to serve in this position. I feel like I'm qualified to serve because I've been practicing family law since 1985, over 36 years. I have had the opportunity to see the family law system change. When I started, Clyde Thomas was on the bench. There was no such thing as a family law attorney. We went from there to a transition where we had domestic relations commissioners. We had people like Commissioner Crocker, Janet Crocker, that served as commissioner, a fellow by the name of Steve Todd that served as commissioner. In 2007, we were fortunate enough to get a family court judge. Since 2008, Judge Broderson has been our family court judge, and he's done an excellent job, has run opposed since that period of time. The temperament that a family court judge has to have, I think we have to recognize that people that come to court in family court are in crisis. They show their worst selves. So it's important for a judge to recognize and respect them in that context. Cut them some slack. Be fair. Be respectful to them. Thank you.
My apologies, Mr. Medford. Now we're going to move on to the county clerk position. First up, we're going to have Austin Johnson.
Good afternoon. Thank you to the Human Rights Commission for having us out here tonight. It's a great opportunity to get to meet your elected officials and your hopeful elected officials. My name's Austin Johnson. I'm a fourth generation Simpson County resident. I'm married to Grace Kirby Johnson. We've been together, we're high school sweethearts, attended Franklin Simpson together, attended Western Kentucky together, and now we've fortunately been able to add, since I've seen some of you all since the primary, we've been able to add a little boy to our family, so we're a family of three. Copeland, he's not here tonight, he's hanging out with JoJo. Didn't want him to interrupt anybody. He gets a little fussy every now and then. I'm specifically running for county clerk because it's an important office. A lot of you all have had relationships with the clerk, and it's been special. For almost 70 years, we've had 3 elected clerks, and to continue that tradition is important to me. I think to prioritize the citizens, prioritize that customer service base, and look forward to doing that. On the qualification side, the first thing I did was vet myself. Before I even decided to run, I went down to the office to make sure that I was a good fit, make sure that I knew what all went on in that office, because there's a lot more that goes in that office than just paying your car tax. And so I met with Jolene, I met with Beth, met with all the other ladies in the office, met with Chip Phillips, see what his ideas were, what he thought the office needed. And we come to the conclusion it was a good fit. So I'm excited to hopefully serve you all in that role. My background's at Hunt Ford, so automotive registration, we're the biggest customer for the clerk's office. So I've got to learn that process already. My background's in management, so understanding how people work.
30 seconds.
Understanding how people work. Everybody's different. Everybody needs to be managed a different style. The temperament. The clerk's office sees more people than any county office. And people are coming in to pay a tax bill. They're not typically excited about taxes. So you have to be open-minded. You have to be accepting of those people. Give them a service that, when they walk away, they go, hey, that was a pretty good service. When people move into Simpson County, one of the first places they go is the county clerk's office. So to set the idea of that we want to be this special place, it's up to the county clerk to put that in their mind. So thank you all, and hope to earn your vote in November.
Next for county clerk, Dewana Eaton.
Good evening. Thank you to the Human Rights for having us out tonight. My name is Dewana Eaton. I'm a candidate for the Simpson County Clerk. I'm a lifelong resident of Simpson County, born and raised here in downtown Franklin. My parents were the late Joe and Kathleen Ditmore. I am committed to Simpson County. I love Simpson County. Why I'm running is I'm a people person. Every job I have held has been in Simpson County and some type of customer service. I believe my commitment and skills will be an asset to the county clerk's office. As far as my qualifications go, as I said, I've always been in customer service. I have a work history of over 30 years. It includes upper management. It includes accounting duties, all at local businesses with quality customer service. I'm currently the office manager at Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance, where I have a staff of 7 that works there with me. I'm committed to running a structured, efficient office with a well-trained staff. We are all licensed with the Kentucky Department of Insurance and maintain countless continuing education hours each year. We provide courteous and expert service to all our members, and I look forward to broadening.
30 seconds.
Again, I believe my work history and experience will be a benefit to the clerk's office. As far as temperament, I believe a candidate should be approachable. I believe that a candidate should be willing to listen to all citizens of the county. And with closing, I would just like to ask that everybody encourage you to get out and vote this year. And I would love to have your vote on November 8th. Thank you.
Thank you, Dewana. Now we're going to move on to our mayor candidates. First up, we'll have Kelly Bush.
I'm Kelly Bush, and I will speak to the temperament thing first because I realize I'm one of the more intense personalities up here, and I get that, and I don't want anybody to mistake the intense personality for passion. I think anybody that you ask with the Human Rights Commission will tell you that I'm very passionate about what we do and the work that we do. The reason I want to serve is because Simpson County is my home. I grew up here. I have a lot of memories here, and I feel compelled to help my neighbors. I see a lot of neighbors struggling through no fault of their own, and I want to be able to help them. As far as the experience goes, we don't have a lot of time to explain what I do in technology, but what I do is I solve problems. And one of the things I've done recently is I've built a $5 million budget for a global organization, and not just building that budget out, but I also helped build the team. I flew around the world, everywhere from Taiwan to India, or not India, but Ireland, England, Netherlands, Czech Republic, Germany, Italy, all these places, building these teams through different religions, different backgrounds, different ethnicities. And I think, I wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't have the temperament that I have. Once you get to know me, I think you'll realize that I am actually a really fun person. We like to have fun at the Human Rights Commission, and we make jokes, but we get the job done, and that's what I want to do for Franklin. I think I'm very approachable. If you don't have my phone number by this point, come see me. I'll be happy to give you my phone number. I've had several calls, and I appreciate everyone that I've talked to. So I'm asking for your vote on November 8th. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. Larry Dixon.
First of all, thank you for Human Rights for having us here tonight. Thank you for all of you that have come out to listen to us tonight. And I'm Larry Dixon. I think most everyone in here knows me. I've been here all my life. I'm married to Donna Collins Dixon, who's back here. My daughter, Amy Dixon Munch, and she has gifted me with 2 wonderful granddaughters, and which aren't here tonight, but and also I have a son, Brandon, who is a trust, tax, and real estate attorney. And why do I want to serve? I want to serve my community because I love my community. I have been serving my community since I was about 19, 20 years old. As most of you that might be here tonight, some of you not, I went to work at Sullivan's when I was right out of high school. I spent 41 years in that location serving this community, which has been nothing but a joy and a privilege for me to be able to do. Why do I want to serve? I just want to continue to serve my community. It's a community that I love, a community that I was raised and born here in, and just want to continue to serve the people here that I love and the community that I love. Why do I think I'm qualified to serve?
30 seconds.
I'm qualified to serve because I was your commissioner 8 years to 10 years prior to becoming your mayor. It's been nothing but a joy and a pleasure for me to serve as your mayor, and I hope to be able to continue to serve. What temperament should a candidate have? It's the temperament that you would expect a mayor to have. A temperament that your positive attitude, a willingness to serve and work with others, and as my sign says, keep Mayor Larry Dixon, and I ask for your vote on November the 8th. Thank you.
And now we're going to move on to the County Judge Executive Office, and first up we'll have Mason Barnes.
All right, it's good to see everyone here tonight. Again, I want to thank the Human Rights Commission for hosting this. I want to thank all of y'all for taking time out of your schedule to be here to listen to us. As he said, my name is Mason Barnes. I am currently serving as your county judge executive, and I'm hopeful. After everybody keeps saying vote November 8th, you can vote November 3rd, 4th, 5th, or 8th. So I don't care which one of those days you vote. I would like to see you go vote, and I would appreciate your vote, and hopefully I'll be able to serve a second term as your county judge. I'm going to start at the bottom of this list about temperament. What should the temperament be? You should be a kind-hearted, compassionate individual who can be stern and strong when you have to be, because there is some demands to this job that demands you to have the ability to stand up and say right is right and wrong is wrong. And you need to be, you need to have the character and of moral integrity, financial integrity. And I think I have proven the compassion that I have for this community. If no other time, at least during the COVID, I think I proved to this community where I would stand and where I would help and guide us through tough times. As Herbert Williams said, and I'll agree with this, Commissioner, ultimately we are answerable to every citizen in this county, but ultimately we are answered to God. So we need to have a temperament that we are thankful and have a forgiving spirit about us. Why do I want to serve? Because I want to see this community better tomorrow than it is today. I feel like, honestly, today I could lay out, and I've only got 2 minutes, so I can't do it right now. I could lay out thing after thing after thing, say, I don't get 30 seconds, of where we're better now than we were 4 years ago. And I think we can be better 4 years from now than we are right at this moment. And I want to see this community better. For the young children, we're hearing people that have 1-year-olds and 3-year-olds. I want this community to be a better place for them. I feel like I'm qualified to serve. I've actually done this job for the last 4 years. 8 years prior to that, I was a city commissioner, and my background is small business management, construction management, and I have those qualifications, and I've guided this community through some really tough times, and we're in a better spot right now. And I would greatly appreciate your vote. November 3rd, 4th, 5th, or 8th.
Next up, we'll have Brent DeWeese.
Thank you. I also want to thank the Human Rights Commission for having us. Thank all of you for being here, all of you at home for watching. I want to thank all the candidates for being here tonight, because putting your name on that line takes some guts, and I appreciate your willingness to serve the community. My name is Brent DeWeese. I'm the son of late Rudy and Ann DeWeese. I'm married to the beautiful Jana Lane Owens DeWeese. We have 4 daughters. Been blessed with that all live here in Franklin. I have 4 grandchildren, 2 granddaughters, 2 grandsons, one of them who was joining us a while ago, who's celebrating his first birthday with us tonight. So that's the reason I'm running, is so that this would be a better place for our kids and grandkids. I have been here all my life, grown up here, and I would like to see Franklin and Simpson County continue to be the special place that it's been. As qualifications, I have handled multi-million-dollar budgets for over 20 years. I've worked in county governments in Simpson County and other places and other states, worked with other states to develop budgets and things like that in counties. I've seen good ways and bad ways to do things. So we can take some of those things from other places and introduce them here. In some places, we might learn some ways not to do things. And as far as temperament goes, I think a candidate should be approachable. I think they should be understanding. We should also have the ability to understand that we could possibly be wrong and be open to being persuaded. Not saying be easy, but open to persuasion. And I think that Simpson County is a wonderful place. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. I would appreciate your vote on November the 4th, 5th, 6th, 8th. Anything that you have to ask for me, I'd be happy to answer after the meeting tonight. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. We're going to now move on to the offices that are being ran unopposed. So first up, we'll have running for sheriff, Jared D. Hobson.
I'm going to make it quick since I don't have the opposition at this point. Thank you for letting me serve you for the last 32 years. I know you all have a...
Jerry D., could you
Jerry,
move behind the mic
mic.
so we can get it on
Yes.
Facebook? Thank you.
Thank you for letting me serve you for the past 32 years, and I concede the rest of my time so that you can get with your other time.
Thank you, Jared D. Next, we're having running for unopposed constable in the South District, Jimmy Fleming. He's not here. Okay. Magistrate in the North, Scott Poston.
Good afternoon. She said I'm Scott Poston. I want to thank the Human Rights Commission for putting this on tonight. Lifelong resident here in Simpson County. I'm currently the North District Magistrate. It's been an honor to serve this community, and I look forward to another 4 years. So thank you so much.
Magistrate in the South, Myron Thurman.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to thank the Human Rights Commission for hosting this forum tonight. It's been my honor and my pleasure to serve Simpson County as a magistrate in the South District, and I look forward for the next 4 years. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, Sam's here.
And for County Attorney, Sam Phillips.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to also thank the Human Rights Commission for this opportunity to speak. Thank you all for coming. My name is Sam Phillips. I'm your county attorney. I've served as your county attorney for approximately 15 years. I'm also looking forward to serving the next 4 years. I do want to say one of the things you need to probably talk about when you say temperament, I think a candidate oftentimes needs something, what I call a thick skin, because there's passions and emotions get stirred up during a campaign. Thick skin's a good idea. Patience is a good idea. And the ability people have talked about is to listen, because some people, when they come to you, are upset. You may not be able to help them, but you can listen to them, and oftentimes that makes a difference to them. So please keep that in mind. That's about all I've got. Thank you all very much for this opportunity. I'd appreciate your vote during the election season. Thank you.
Did I miss any candidates? Eric Vaughn.
He was hiding back.
He was hiding back.
I want to thank the Human Rights Commission for having us and all the candidates that have showed up and are running for office. Somebody said it a while ago, it takes guts. So thank you, each and every one of you, and we got a lot of great candidates here. I'm Eric Vaughn. I'm your Simpson County jailer. I've served as jailer for 12 years now. Looking forward to 4 more. We got the jail in pretty good position as far as our county goes, and I'm proud of that. And I just look forward to continuing on. Thank you very much.
And that will conclude our general questions for the candidates. We will now move on to our second portion of questions, and we will start off with the family court portion, and that would be, I get lost here.
To read the question.
The question for family court will be, children are often pawns in domestic disputes. How can you help children whose families wind up in family court? And what experience do you have in family law? Who would like to go first?
Let's just take it in the other.
So, this question talks in terms of children becoming pawns in family court. I suppose that happens from time to time, but I think we more have to look at family court as treating the family. And we have to look at the dynamics of the family as they come to court and how they're each different. They're made up in different ways. They're different age children. They're from different socioeconomic backgrounds. And we have to factor all that into how we deal with those families. We have to do what's fair, and we have to do what's best for the children. But we also have to balance that the parents have rights, and we need to be able to treat the parents right as well. So it's about doing what's best for the children, but it's also about doing what's best for the family. Why do I think I'm the most qualified candidate? I'm old. I am 62 years old. I started doing this I actually started working in law offices in 1978 when I graduated high school. Been about 44 years. I had the fortunate experience of when I was in college and when I was in law school of working for law firms and learning things about the underworkings of law firms and courthouses and that sort of thing. I was fortunate enough to be able to come here in Franklin in 1986 and go to work for Bill Harris instead of Broderson. At that point in time, we didn't have a family court judge. Judge Thomas heard the divorce cases. I think it was Judge Hancock that heard the domestic violence and the juvenile cases. Things changed over time. As that journey took place, I was part of that journey, and I learned as time went on. Thank you.
Same questions to you, Ms. Douglas. Children are pawns in domestic disputes. How can you help children whose families wind up in family court? And what experience do you have in family law?
Thank you. I'm going to answer those backwards. So what experience do I have in family law and what makes me qualified for this? My answer is opposite. I'm not old. That's the reason why I am. Because I don't have that many years experience. As a matter of fact, I wasn't born in the 70s. But I'm in the prime of my career. Like I said, I have 13 years here. I've been practicing for 14 years. But I am absolutely in the prime of my career, right in the heart of it, right in the heart of my practice, ready to take this task on. I think that's what makes me most qualified. I think I have ample experience to take this on. I practice family law on an incredibly regular basis. I'm probably in front of our family court at least once a week, if not multiple times a week, here locally in the family court here in Simpson County and in other counties as well. I think children are often pawns in domestic disputes. I think one thing that I would do to help make sure that doesn't happen is to make sure that when families come in front of me, that I slow down, I listen, that I'm compassionate, that I pay attention to the things that they bring to me and really listen to the stories that they're telling me and find out the dynamic that's really going on in that family so that I can make the best possible decision for that family and then try to make the most specific order I can for them and then make sure that that order is enforced for that family so that those children don't become pawns, so that those parents can't use that child against one another. I think there are also resources out there that those families can use. There's counselors, there's co-parenting counseling, there are co-parenting apps. I think we use all of those things. And then I think we, if there's really contentious cases, then I think we keep an eye on those cases and I think we bring them back in and review them if we have to, just to make sure that children are being properly taken care of and they're not pawns in cases. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next, we're going to move to the magistrates for the West Magistrate District. The questions for the magistrates is, how do you plan to handle infrastructure such as water pressure issues, garbage pickup delays, backup sewage problems, flooding in homes, areas that are becoming run down, people not keeping their property maintained? So we'll start with Chuck. I did that again. I'm sorry. I moved back and forth, and they're so close together. Jeffrey Burr. I'm sorry. I was looking at because this keeps going back and forth. I get mixed up between here and
To
there.
handle the infrastructure problems we have, water pressure issues, that's either a city issue or the Simpson County Water District. So the fiscal court actually don't have much to do with water pressure issues. The garbage pickup delays, Scott Waste, I've heard that Scott Waste has got a new manager. So we're hoping to improve that the garbage pickup will be improved. The backup for sewage problems, I'm gonna work with whoever is elected with the city commissioners, to solve whatever problems that need to be, if it's in my district. The flooding of homes, after work done by the city, I'll work with my public works director. And me and him will work together. We will go out and see what the problem is and see how to solve the issue. In areas that are run down and property is that's not kept up, we've got a new building inspector, which is John Chandler, and he is the county code enforcement that's going to be helping with that, doing code enforcement with the county, with the building inspector job. So it'd be my job to work with him to help his job go smoothly, and if there's a complaint, maybe go out with him to help look at problems in maintenance of property and everything. And I appreciate your vote, November 8th. Thank you.
Nathaniel Downey. Same questions. How do you plan to handle infrastructure?
The way that I will handle the infrastructure on the garbage pickup delays, Scott Waste Management do have a new manager now, a new site manager. And what I would do if I had a complaint or concern in my area would be I would go and then talk to the personnel, and then I would call the new site manager and then let them know what the issue is. Because matter of fact, just last week, was a prime example. I got a phone call from someone, and I called the site manager, and then I let him know what the deal was, what the issue was, and then he got back with me. About a day later, said it's been solved, and I called back the resident and verified with them to make sure that it was done, and he said it was done. Being a magistrate is almost like a middleman. we listen to people's concerns and the issues, and then we get with the department or bring it to fiscal court, you know, and then we handle the issue like that. So on the flooding in homes, you know, that's caused by the county or the city, you know, if it's well in the right of way, you know, of the county, I will have to get with the road supervisor, whether it's the county or the state road supervisor, and then have them to solve the issue. And as far as the property being not
30
managed,
seconds.
you know, with that right there, you know, if it's a county, and then you get with the building inspector, you know, for them to give them the address, and then have them to contact the resident, and then he will solve the issue. And if it's in my district, in the city, and then I will contact the code enforcement officer, and then give him the address, and then have him to look into it, and then to solve it with the property owner. And then once again, thank you for having us here, and then thank all the ones that's out there, even the ones that's on Facebook watching. Thank you very much.
In that same line of questioning, we're going to go to the commissioners with those same questions, and we will start off with Jamie Powell. How do you
We have budgeted $1.2 million in this coming budget for infrastructure. So we have a lot of money dedicated for infrastructure upgrades. Water pressure, that national average is 20 PSI. The city is between 35 and 55. Garbage pickup delays with the hiring of a new manager over there. To my knowledge, in the last 3 months, especially on my part of town, we've had one incident where we had 1 day delay, but they were there the next day. Flooding in the homes done by work by the city. To my knowledge, we have not flooded any homes from any work the city has done. Areas that are becoming run down and people not keeping their property maintained. Last 10 years, we've tore down over 100 dilapidated structures, and there's some new homes that has went back on some of those areas. We designate $25,000 every year to tear down old dilapidated structures. And if there is a water problem, a sewer problem, or a garbage problem, if it is reported to the city, we will take the appropriate action to correct that problem. There will be a problem.
30 seconds.
There will be a problem crop up from time to time because it's impossible not to. But the city will take care of those problems. Thank you.
Dale McCrary, same question.
Thank you. I'm not going to touch on what the city has already done or, what funds they have allocated. I think most of them are aware of all that. So I'm going to try to answer a couple of these with some common sense approach. The water pressure issues, to my knowledge, there's some, been talk of some, and I can't confirm this, but come from people in the city that there's a water tower elevation problem on one of the towers. Maybe it's 45 feet too low. As everyone know, that to fix that, that would be a big project. An engineer would have to look at that, and that's way over my pay grade. So an engineer would have to look at that to see if there's any more options for that. If it could be lifted up, I'm not sure. And another option might be to install assist pumps if the incoming water supply is sufficient. Again, that's an engineering problem, but I've been knocking on doors and visiting with people back behind the Highlands, back behind the hospital, and definitely some residents have water pressure issues there. Some states said that in the afternoons, just a dribble out of the faucets, so we need to work together as a group to try to solve that. And that's where I think my background comes in to be a part of that solutions. Garbage pickup, I think they've got a new person heading that up, and I've heard improvements. But if it were to happen again, I think we have to have somewhere in the contractual agreement that if they don't do their job, there'll be some kind of penalty monetarily. And if that all fails, about the only thing you can do is seek another provider to do a job that you want. The backup sewage problems, I do know the city has a lot of money from ARPS Fund committed to the main sewer on Main Street, which, as everyone knows, that's a definite problem. And this isn't something you can just fix the next year or two. This is a long-term project. I'm not even sure if you could bond it out because it would cost millions. So
30 seconds.
we have to deal with that as problems pop up. We just have to address them and take care of them. The flooding in homes after city and county, like some other people, I'm not sure what that is. Although there is some flooding issues on Witt Road across from Simpson Elementary. I think that needs to be looked at when it rains hard. They have big issues over there. And the part about not keeping property up, I understand we have a new codes officer. He's going to have to stay on top of that, ensure the codes are enforced and adhered to, and with the support of city government. Thank you so much.
Next up, we'll have Herbert Williams. Same question, Herbert.
The city has forecast the next 10 years to spend $14.6 million in inflow structure improvements. And with that, you know, the process that you had to go through with that problem, we have thank God we have a city manager that reviews all and proposals, developments, which includes storm water calculations. And as far as the sanitation pickup, as has already been stated, that we do have a new manager into that, and I know in the past we've had weeks where I live of none pickup, but I think since we changed management, we've only had maybe one day. They've actually got as far as one, since the new management, they picked it up on Sunday. So that was a big improvement. And what was the other
30
question?
seconds.
Areas that are becoming run down, people not keeping their property maintained.
Well, we also have a new code enforcer, and we studied her very well. She's come up with a good reputations in her job. This is not her first rodeo, so we're looking at that being very punctual also.
Time.
And what I didn't say when I first got up here, because I just got back from Washington, D.C., I'm married to Christine Williams. We have one daughter, and I've also been in city government, I think I said that, for about 30 years. So I do.
Thank you, Herbert. Time's up.
Okay.
Next up, we'll have Buddy Sliger.
Code enforcer.
Okay, I want to answer a couple of these together, the water pressure issues and the back up the sewer problems. Some of these issues could be coming from the new subdivisions that we're getting in Franklin, and the new subdivisions are getting new infrastructure put in, but them infrastructures are running into the old inadequate sewer systems and waters. That could be part of the problem. We may be overfilling our lines and stuff that we have now. More water being used than what we're supplying to the houses. I'd have to do some checking on that to see, and we also need to check our pumps, make sure we're getting the right PSIs to those water. The floodings of the homes, we just have to get with the Public Works and work with them when they're out on the job, make sure that they're completing their job the way it should be and the way it needs to be. The garbage pickup, that's a Scott waste problem. And the city of Franklin has a contract with them to get a premium job for our citizens, paying a premium price to get our trash picked up, and I think it's their job to make sure that we're getting our service. The areas that are being run down and people not taking care of their property, I've been working with some contractors in town that's buying up some of these properties and building new homes on these properties and making things look beautiful on these streets and places that wouldn't normally be too attractive to live. And Habitat for Humanity also is using this for a good cause for low-income families. And let's see, that pretty much covers that, all of that, I believe. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we'll have Wendell Stewart.
Tammy, could you read your question again, please?
How do you plan to handle infrastructure, water pressure issues, garbage pickup delays, backup sewage problems, flooding in homes after work done by city, areas that are becoming run down, people not keeping their property maintained?
Okay. I won't be redundant because obviously you've heard some of the things that some of the other commissioners that I've been working with have addressed. When we get elected, we're elected to be the best stewards that we can be to represent the tax dollars of this community. So trust me, when there are issues that we face, don't think for 1 second that we are not aware of them and that we're not trying to address them. We have to deal with things in 3 phases: the past, the present, and the future. The future is so unclear, but we try to do what we can right now to create a future that's going to be the best that we can have in this community. Now, keep in mind, there's a lot of past, as I just heard, I think Mr. Slager make mention of old, new running into old. So we have to find a way to make these work together that's going to be the best for the community. Now, when we talk about sewer problems in this community, what are we really talking about? When we get 4 to 5 inches of rain, we have problems. Mm-hmm. We have some serious problems. But today, yesterday and the day before that, has anybody complained about anything with the sewer? No, because we haven't had 4, 5, or 6 inches of rain. And trust me, when that happens, we go on full alert. Out at the sewer plant, those guys go out there and sometimes have to work all night to make sure that as that water goes,
30 seconds.
Basically, when more water falls than we can handle at one time, you're going to have those problems. You're going to have them. Yes, we do have a problem on Main Street that's to be addressed, but a lot of the problems are what I like to say is downstream, meaning that there are a lot of other little infrastructural things that we're working on to take care of that. I spoke so much about sewer problems because that seemed to be the biggest problem. But we had an unfortunate problem in the city that we had to have our code enforcer to retire due to health issues. And we have filled that, so you will see improvement in that. Unfortunately, I don't have enough time to talk about the things that I really think that are heartfelt about the question that's asked. But trust me, you can call me and talk to me, and I'll be willing to talk to you anytime about it. I am concerned.
Last but not least, for our commissioners, Brownie Bennett.
Okay, now, just like Jamie said, we have spent $1.2 million already. In the next 10 years, we're going to spend $14.6 million in infrastructure. There's approximately 120 miles of city water lines. The majority of those lines were built in 1920 and 1930, with the old galvanized pipes. So we're trying to replace those. And yes, you might have some water pressure issues in different areas of the city, but as long as they're between 35 and 55, the Division of Waste Division of Water says that is within reason. However, we have hired someone called Strand Associates to study the water pressure opportunities in certain areas and come back to us and let us know some of the things that we can do. As far as the backup sewer problems, in the last 7 years, we've only had 2 sewer backups that people called us about. So if they're having sewer backups, they're not calling. You know, we've got a personnel on call 24/7. They'll be there within 30 minutes if somebody calls. So I don't know where all this problem is coming from, but they haven't told us. So please, if you've got this problem, call us. We'll be glad to take care of it. There's approximately 105 miles of sewer lines in the city. And in the last 8 years, we have spent $7.4 million on improving that. As far as flooding in the homes, a lot of times we're not responsible for that. It's the contractors.
30 seconds.
We are in the process. We have just finished increasing our subdivision regulations from 19 pages to 130 pages to solve some of those problems. We've had the people from the garbage company to the city commission meetings 4 times. So we tried, and they hired somebody new to replace the previous manager. As far as the dilapidated buildings, as you know, we've knocked down 100 and 283 mowing notices, 13 clutter, and 25 abandoned vehicles, hired a new codes management. There you go.
Thank you, Commissioners. We're going to now go on to County Clerk, Austin Johnson and Dewana Eaton. The question for the County Clerk is, part of your job is to oversee elections. How will you ensure that all eligible voters have an opportunity to vote and that all votes are counted and reported accurately?
So we've seen that it's been helpful to move, you have in-person voting days, so we've extended those out through the state. And a lot of that comes down from the state. The clerk just follows the regulations that they give out, and we have to follow those. Making sure those votes are correct and everything is a process that Megan Smith, our election clerk, me and her have talked a lot about that, going through that, ensuring that that process is accurate and secure. Robert Taylor's in the building. He's one of our election commissioners, and he's spent several hours in those meetings, and I believe he can agree that we have a great system in place. The state of Kentucky has a great system in place to ensure that. So, thank you.
As Austin said, the election mandates are defined by the state. So if we see need, once we have all these 3 polling places now, if we see need as Simpson County grows, we could always look into adding a polling location. But like he said, everything's mandated through the state. Everything runs smoothly as is. And of course, we would accept any changes that the state may make. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now move on to our mayoral candidates. The question for our mayor candidates is, what plans do you have to provide low-cost housing in our community? And what are your plans for a public swimming pool? That's a dumb question. We'll start with Larry.
Do I have just 2 minutes to answer both of those?
2 minutes altogether, yes.
Altogether, okay. I'm going to move as fast as I can then. I grew up in Franklin under circumstances where I can fully appreciate the needs for affordable housing. 14 years ago, I was asked to serve on the board of the Franklin Housing Authority and on a separate nonprofit called Franklin Affordable Housing.
Mm-hmm.
We operate 110 units at a location off of Highway 1008. Mm-hmm. Security patrols these premises and logs in visitors. We are currently rated as one of the top facilities in the entire country. Since no additional subsidized housing units are available, we established Franklin Housing. Affordable housing means rental rates that are at less than 80% of the community's fair market rent rate. Fort Franklin Affordable Housing now has 17 rental units to serve our community. It is in the future of the Franklin Affordable Housing that really excites me as mayor, with seed money that I procured from the city of Franklin. Franklin Affordable Housing acquired property on Orange Street and Cherry Street, on which a total of 63 brand-new units will be built. By the end of the year, Franklin Affordable Housing will acquire 56 additional units, which will be available to Franklin residents next year. All of this housing will be affordable housing for our community. I am committed to completing all of these projects for Franklin Affordable Housing, and I'm committed to Franklin Housing Authority's committed success. As mayor and as a board member, we will continue to seek opportunities to provide affordable housing to residents of our community. And moving on many of you know that in 1951, Franklin built what was then one of the largest swimming pools in the state of Kentucky. The entire community worked together to build that pool, when it was dedicated, the Vice President, I'm sorry.
Well, maybe just talk to people informally afterwards. Thank you.
I will be glad to talk to anyone after this meeting is over.
Thank you. Kelly Bush.
2 bottles of water. Does someone want water?
So Pee-wee actually reminded me of something about the Habitat for Humanity. Did you know that the Franklin City Commission used to give land away to developers to build houses on and then sell? I never understood why they would do that. They would condemn a property, they would take it, and instead of auctioning it off, they would give it to a developer to build houses on so that developer could sell. I never understood why Habitat Humanity never got those lots to build houses on. And then this answer about the pool may surprise you, but I don't have a plan for a community pool because that's not how I operate. When I built that $5 million budget for the company I was with, we spent weeks in Europe with the different business units listening to their concerns and working together to come up with a plan that was going to take the organization forward. So what I would do, because the parks is joint funded by the city and the county, is that I would work with the county to come up with a plan. And we recently had an event at the park where Lisa hosted folks to come out to voice what they would want for the community. And I believe one of the most overwhelming things was a community center, a pool, and I believe pickleball. And I didn't know what pickleball was before that meeting. I'm sure most people in here didn't either. But you know, I'm not going to come up with a plan for a community pool because that's not what we do. We come up with a plan together. We act as a community. We're Franklin Simpson, and anything that we come up with needs to be done together and thought about in a logical way that's going to serve our community the best we can. So if you have any questions or want to talk further, feel free to contact me after this or give me a call. I certainly appreciate your time, and thanks for coming out.
I will say, I know we're cutting some of you all off. We got cookies, so hopefully you'll stick around and you can ask some of our candidates specific questions.
We will now move on to our county judge executive offices. So we have Director Weeds and Mason Barnes. I'm looking right at I didn't have that. If I had that, I would have been able to see it. The question is, I guess, Brent, you'll go first. 4 years ago, we heard about prospects for a full-time fire department. What concrete plans do you have to provide full-time fire department in the next 4 years, and what is being done about traffic congestion?
Well, I think to provide a full-time fire department, the first thing we need to do is establish what the cost of that will be. And I believe we need to look at our professionals. That professional group would be Chief Goodrum and his staff to help bring those numbers to us. I'm not a professional firefighter. I don't know about it, so we need to look to professionals to get those numbers. And once those numbers are in place, then we can go to our friends of the city and see if we can come up with a funding mechanism for that. If it is going to require taxing, which probably would at the size of a fire department that's going to be full-time, then I believe that the citizens should be informed and have an opportunity to make their voice heard. I would be open to putting that on the ballot once it's verified how much money it would take and how it would affect each and every family. And as far as the congestion goes, that is something that needs to be worked with our city partners and with our state partners, because most of the congestion issues are going to require state highways, and this is something that takes long-term planning. I believe we should look at putting a further loop past 1008 out to bring in the new parks that we have, and we need to talk to our local farmers and talk to them about how they want to preserve their land, because I don't think we need to be telling individual property owners how to operate their land and their property. It's their homeland. They've been there for years, and I believe the farmers should have a voice in that. I would also like to take the opportunity to give my last 20 seconds to Herbert so he doesn't get in trouble with his wife for not mentioning a lot.
All right, those are good questions, and obviously I had no idea what these questions would be until they were sent to us one day last week or whenever we got them. On the fire department issue, I'm going to tell you that I'm a step and 3 years ahead on that. On the back of my campaign material, one of the very first things you'll see is we've got to get our community ready for our fire department to operate around the clock 24/7. In the first year I was here, I put out a survey. Some of you may or may not remember, this survey went out on social media talking about what community needs are, and the overwhelming response was the need for a fire department to operate 24/7. There were a lot of people amazed that the fire department didn't operate 24/7. We do have full-time firefighters, we have a good volunteer staff, but we're already working on the cost. The personnel and the cost is going to be roughly $1.1 to $1.2 million. We had a joint meeting scheduled with the city back in September, and that KLC conference was going on. We rescheduled to October 4th, and there was some conflict we couldn't meet, but I assume that we are meeting now on October 18th at noon, and one of those discussion topics are going to be, how do we look about, what do we do to fund this full-time fire department? Because it's $1.1, $1.2 million, and the question is, can the county and the city afford to do that? So just so everyone knows right now, the funding on the fire department on capital expenditures such as fire trucks, ladder trucks, so on, is 50-50. The funding on the rest of the operational part, the city funds about 38%, the county funds the rest. So we got to figure that out. Congestion problems, in the first year I was on this job as judge executive, the BRAD works with the state to work on implementing state plans. Our worst congested area is the intersection of 31W and 1008 out by Hunt, and we scored that project the #1 project in the BRAD. It had the most points, but the state kicked it out. Now, I was talking with, I will tell y'all, if y'all want to know what the director said, you come and talk to me. I had this whole conversation this week about what's going on with our road system. Appreciate your vote.
That's everybody. Did I miss anyone? That will conclude our town forum, and we will bring up Reverend Donzella Lee to close us out.
You can have this back if you like.
Good evening, everyone. I'm so glad that you guys had an opportunity to come and meet the candidates for the 2022 election. of our city and county officials. We hope that you have met someone that you have not met before, and we also hope that you have learned some things about the candidates that will be useful when you go to vote on November the 8th, or the 3rd, or 4th.
Third, fourth, fifth, or eighth.
Them days.
You can't vote on all of them, though, Reverend. You can only vote one time.
Okay, so see,
He said early in Austin.
so I want to thank the Human Rights Commission for putting this together. And I just pray that when time comes, that you vote not because you're a friend of the candidate, but you vote for the right person that will do the best job for the citizens here in Franklin, Kentucky. Amen. God bless you, and we're out.